Good morning, beautiful. If things have been feeling a little bit heavy in your business lately, or maybe it's more slow and sticky, you just know that there's something more for you on the other side of that slump you're in, but you don't quite know how to get out of it. This is 3 advice I would give any creative I work with to get out of this slump and get back into momentum and flow and just turn the light back on, right? Because sometimes we have been in business for a while and it just seems like this day-to-day redundant thing that we have to do. And it's so important to remember that we started this for freedom. We started this for ease. We started this to have more time to be in our feminine energy. And so in this video, I will give you a couple tips that I give every single creative I work with for the last 8+ years to bring momentum back. Now, if you're new here, I'm Marjolaine, and I have been guiding creative women entrepreneurs to grow an aligned dream business whilst focusing on their zone of genius, their energy, and the life they truly want to live for over 8 years now. And my approach is really 360. Everything is connected, right? What we do in our business reflects in our life. What we do in our life reflects in our business. And so this video will be focusing on the business side of things, but also giving you a couple hints into how it might spill over your real life. So the first advice I would give any creative feeling a little lost or stuck is to stop hiding behind the busy work. You know what this is. It is forcing yourself to check notifications throughout the day, be on your computer for more hours than needed because you feel like it makes you feel more productive. Refresh your page again, change your bio, redo your website, work on all of those admin tasks or branding tasks that are actually taking you away from doing the real work when you're feeling stuck, which is most likely focusing on client relationship and sales. I do have a 40 minutes feminine sales masterclass that you can do here if you've been feeling like sales is your next leap. And also focusing on listening, sitting in silence with your intuition and noticing where things are feeling sticky. What is actually your next chapter coming up? Where are you being called to rise and what are you being called to let go? If business feels heavy and sticky, you need to sit in silence, sit with it, ask yourself the right questions and not avoid looking at what's happening by staying busy. Don't refresh, don't change, don't spend so many hours there because that's actually taking you away from connecting to your intuition. And in those seasons, your intuition knows there's something you're being asked to do, whether that is finally raising the bar, stepping into a next level, perhaps in how you charge client, who you choose to work with, the type of work you do, taking the leap you've been avoiding, right? Maybe it is creating that podcast or pitching yourself to speak on big stages. And maybe it's also learning how to say no. Set bigger boundaries so you can reclaim your time and stop feeling so overwhelmed by your business, right? So this here is really an invitation to move away from busy work. Call yourself out when you're doing something that is not actually necessary or moving you forward or through the fog, and recognize those patterns of self-sabotage. Because as much as busy can make us feel productive, it is often just a subtle way to self-sabotage. Self-sabotage our greatness, our potential, and us feeling like, oh my God, life is so good. This is amazing. This is the career we always wanted to build. That joy that you're missing right now isn't gonna come from you burying yourself under a lot of unnecessary tasks. So this is your first call out. Stop staying busy. Let yourself be bored. Let yourself be confused. Let yourself sit by the water and say, I don't know. And that's okay. I don't have to know yet. I can let it be unknown, but I'm listening. I'm trusting that my intuition will soon whisper again because it always did. Look back. Any big leap you took in your life, your intuition came through the fog and whispered something, a nudge, an invitation, I'm done with this. I'm done with that kind of energy. I'm done with that smallness. That is gonna come if you give it space to rise. If you stay busy, if you keep your head down, if you push through, you're not paying attention to what is on the other side of that breakthrough that currently feels like a stickiness. Stickiness is never forever. It's just the in-between before your next big breakthrough. Now, the second advice I would give any creative that comes to me feeling a little bit overwhelmed or under the weather is to actually stop waiting for permission to claim your next level. Maybe a part of you know you're meant to be the leader of a movement, but you're still operating on a freelance, am I kind of running this business or not energy. Maybe a part of you knows that you're meant to speak on big stages, but you're waiting for that validation or that invitation to pitch yourself. Nobody is seeing you before you make yourself visible. And what that means is you need to let your light shine really bright and dare to put yourself in front of the people or the opportunities or the spaces that are calling you in right now. And so if you want to speak on big stages, pitch yourself. If you want to work with big clients, pitch yourself. If you want to build a huge audience to step in as a leader, show up like the world is your stage each and every day and pitch your voice and your energy and your message and broadcast it loudly on social media. If you want those big opportunities, you need to let yourself be seen, and that begins by you giving yourself permission to claim that next level even before you feel ready. Because right now you might know deep down that you're meant for that. And a part of you thinks, but what if I'm not good enough? What if I don't have what it takes? What if it's not going to work? What if nobody takes me seriously? Insert all fears you might ever have listened to or witnessed in your inner world. And I want you to say, I can claim my next level before I feel ready. Because the only thing between me and who I want to be is decisiveness. It's taking action decisively. It's making decisions and moving with certainty. And so once you write down what you truly want and you claim that next level, the only thing left is each day waking up and calling the shots. You need to call the shots for the life you want to live. You cannot sit there and wait. You cannot stay under the blanket. You cannot stay hidden. You got to let yourself be seen. And that begins by giving yourself permission. And the last advice I would give any creative that comes to me feeling overwhelmed and kind of like things are falling apart or unraveling, I would say you need to reclaim your power. You need to remember that you got it. You've always gotten it. You've always gone through it. You've been there before. You're okay. You're safe. You're going to figure this out. This is just a temporary discomfort, and you need to remember how powerful you are, how strong you are, how wise you are, and trust yourself to move through this, right? You have so many proof of your resilience. I did an exercise with one of my clients yesterday about risk assessment and, deciding if we go in that direction or that direction. And the big thing I invited her to do is make a list of all her monetizable talent, like just individually, everything she could ever be paid for and make a career out of. And just recognizing your gifts sometimes is so comforting and reassuring to realize, wow, I am so multi-talented. I am so multi-passionate. I am so multifaceted, and I got it. I got this, right? I can rely on me. I can count on myself. I can count on the moves I've made thus far and trust myself to rise again. And also with that, trusting your resilience. You've proven to yourself time and time again that you're resilient, that you have what it takes, that you can weather storms, and you're going to stand tall and bright and shiny afterwards, and you're going to understand why it happened this way. It's all going to make sense. But right this minute, you need to trust yourself. So go in the mirror every time you pass by and look at yourself and say, we got this. When you wake up in the morning, allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, the discomfort, the muddiness, the cloudiness, and say, I don't know yet, but I've got this. I know I will rise. I know I'm going to figure this out. I know I will find what I need, the strength within to move through this, because I can count on myself. You need to trust yourself to pick yourself up. You need to trust yourself to figure this out. You need to remember how powerful you are. You have proof. You can write it down, but do not forget how powerful you are. Don't give it away. Okay? Hold it and witness the in-between, and you will rise strong on the other side. Now, I hope you enjoyed tuning in with me today for this gentle advice on what to do if you feel overwhelmed, stuck in the in-between. I would love to support you one-on-one with your next breakthrough. If you want to dive in my world, feel free to look through below. I'm dropping the sales masterclass for you, as well as the links to work with me more intimately. And I'd love to see you in the next episode. Have a beautiful day.